Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining. I'm Shana Tibi, Matchmaker, and you are listening to Romance Report with Shana Tibi. Today, I have an awesome guest, and we're going to get her on in a moment. And her name's Jane, and she's going to talk about being fit and fab over 40. Can't wait to dive into that. But first, what I wanted to do is, like I love to do, we're going to do a little client spotlight. It can be an opportunity for you to consider who you know and to see if maybe together we can make a match, which is always exciting and fun to do. So my client, sometimes matchmakers get really obsessed with different clients because they love them so much. They're excited to match them. They think they're amazing. And I have one of those clients that I wanted to tell you about. So my client, she is in New York City. She is 37, culturally Jewish, and looking for, about the same, or somebody that really loves adventure, travel. She's quite fit. She has a very, very cool lifestyle where she goes to all these amazing restaurants. She's the kind of person that can mix a really good cocktail. So listen. If you know somebody who's a man approximately, let's say, mid-30s to mid-40s in New York or any metropolitan type of city and wants to meet a very fun-loving, beautiful, smart, educated, sincere woman, just shoot me an email to Shana Shana.curatedconnections@gmail.com. And we might make a match. So that's fun. Now, moving forward, what we're going to do today is talk about how to be fit and fab over 40. The whole point of Romance Report is truly to help people connect with what makes them their best self. What makes them feel like they want to pursue the person of their dreams. And that can come in many different forms, whether it's mental health, physical health, fashion, style, dating, tips, all of the above. So that's why I love to have different guests who can explore different angles and bring to you the best top tips. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Jane Marcus on stage. And let's say hi to Jane. Let's bring her up.
Hey.
Hi, Jane.
Hey, how you doing?
Awesome. I'm so happy you're here today because first of all, I can tell you that I've been through some of your programs. They're exciting, they're fun, they're easy to follow. And I really, really am happy you're here today to share your wealth of knowledge and experience to mostly women. I know you work mostly with women, to women who are maybe 40 and up who really want to live their best life. So can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you are and who you are and what you do?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me, first of all. So I'm Jane. I am 54 years old. I'm a mum of 4, so they go from 25 down to 16. And I'm a personal trainer, nutrition coach, health coach, and I've been doing this for the last 16 years. It all started because I was always working out and people were always asking me what to do. And I was like, this is I love this. Why don't I go into this as a profession? So that's kind of where I started. And obviously back in the day, just going to people's houses, training with them. And as they got older, I got older too. And I started to see that women over 40, and obviously now I've got women over 40, 50, but even late 30s, they kind of don't really know how to train right, how to eat right. And I realized there was scope to put together program to help them from all different angles so that they could live their best selves.
Absolutely. And well, I'm really happy to have you on today, because a lot of times, whether somebody has never been married and looking, or whether they're possibly, divorced or widowed and they're back in the game looking for their partner, they want to look and feel their best, because that's what's going to attract their ideal partner. So health and fitness is a huge part of that. But, let's dive right in. Like, what type of exercises do you recommend for women over 40?
Oh, thank you for asking that. Well, so here's the thing. I think women over 40 have got the mindset. We're kind of back in the 80s with Jane Fonda, and everybody thinks they just should kind of go get on the treadmill and keep going, which is actually counterintuitive at this age. So what we really need to be doing is incorporating strength training. And what do I mean by that? I mean picking up weights. And I'm really sorry to say, but I don't mean those cute little pink 1 kilo weights. I mean like really using our bodies correctly, body weight as well, but like doing those huge moves that are going to build muscle. Okay. We don't want to just be endlessly on the treadmill. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go on the treadmill or you shouldn't go walking or running. That's fantastic, heart health and stuff. But if we want to really stay fit and healthy and look fit and healthy, okay, change the makeup of our body, we want to build muscle. So we want to be cracking out the weights, obviously doing everything with correct form, but really that's where we want to be going. We also want to do some HIIT training. So we do want to get the heart rate up and down. And really important also for us ladies over 40 is some pounding motions, okay? Because we want to protect our bones. So to look good and feel good, we got to really rev it up, bring some weights in, and get some high intensity workouts.
So what if I wanted to try one of the workouts, but I don't have any weights?
Aha. So interestingly enough, when I first actually started doing this online, which was of course at the beginning of COVID, we were using water bottles. Not only water bottles, we took a big backpack, stuffed it with books. Like, you actually can start there if you're not willing to invest, and start understanding how your body works. And of course, we do have things like press ups, push ups, and sit ups, and a lot of things you can do with body weight. But I think a big heavy bag, great way to start. Really great way to start.
And I remembered from doing some of the videos that was one of the things you did. So I had a little insight there into, I know
you got me.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody has weights to begin with, and then they want to try it out, and then they're like, you know what? I'm committing, and then, go out and buy weights, but you can always try it to begin with like things in your home. So that's awesome. What if I don't want to go to the gym? Like, let's say I feel intimidated, or I just prefer to stay home. For whatever reason, do I have to do this at a gym?
Absolutely not. In fact, most of the clients I work with do not go in the gym, which is why they want to, so what we do is you could do it all at home. Like, really, you could do it at home. A gym is a place where there's lots of equipment, and it can be a really minefield. And you can, as you said, you can feel so intimidated by everybody around you. Little space at home. You don't need a big space at all. Get your little bit of equipment lined up, and you are good to go. And you don't need to have hours. Don't need hours of time. You can do a 15-minute really intense workout, half an hour, and get great results. You don't need to be a slave to that whole gym culture.
That's good to know. Not everybody wants to put themselves out there while they're going through a personal transformation. They might want to do it in their own home and then, make their grand appearance somewhere.
100%. It's all about feeling comfortable and doing what works for you. There is no absolute. Yes, the type of workouts you should be doing, but there is nothing to say you've got to go to a class you don't like. You've got to go to the gym where you don't like. It starts up here. I know we're going to get to that, but it really, really starts with how you feel about you, and what's going to work for you is what you're going to do. So I think that's really important.
Absolutely. I always tell people who are starting maybe to look for love, they're starting to date. I also tell them, listen, Be happy with who you are now. Maybe through this journey, you might be on a weight loss journey in tandem with trying to find love, but you don't need to wait to find love until you reach a certain scale size or pant size. You can do them at the same time, and you need to love yourself throughout that whole process. And I was wondering about that because, I'm sure you see so many women starting from one place and then having that transformation. And you do mention mindset a lot. So I'd actually love to hear from you about mindset and how does that help through this, transformation process?
100%. As women, especially women over 40, we're so busy listening to that negative self-talk. We're so busy putting ourselves down. And quite frankly, if you're putting yourself down all the time, it comes across. You're not going to turn up as your best self. And I would, assume if you're out there and you're wanting to date, you're wanting to meet someone, you want to have an inner confidence. This is not, and I always tell this to my ladies, we're not talking about being a size 0. We're talking about being happy and healthy in who you are. So much of the work actually comes from before you even get into your workout clothes. It comes from how you talk to yourself, what you say about yourself, what you say to yourself. We want to be happy. We want to be healthy. So I ask all my women to take time every morning to just breathe. I'm a great believer in the hand on the heart and just center into who you are. Okay, you don't need to be, a movie star. With these ideals that are just unreal. So we have to start with appreciating ourselves, congratulating ourselves for being on any type of health journey, and saying, "Wow, look at me." And I really believe that that's where we have to start, and that's where people go wrong because they're just so busy chasing a number that is irrelevant.
Absolutely. There's so many congruencies between like the matchmaking process as well as going through a health and wellness transformation. I mean, I love it that you said, stop saying bad stuff to yourself. Like show up with some confidence. I also offer that tip for people dating. Like if you're going to go out on a date, wear clothes that make you feel comfortable, go to a place that makes you feel comfortable, show up as your most confident self, because that's going to come across more than like your body size or your dress size. Come across with the inner confidence. That's absolutely an amazing, congruency between our two fields.
I'd like to, can I just add to that? Sorry. One of the things that transformations that I find the greatest with the women I work with, and the one that gives me the most goosebumps, is when people say, I just feel happier, because that's what shines through. I mean, that's, and that is, I think, the best tip you can give any woman out there is feel good about you. So sorry for interrupting, but
no, it's you are giving amazing information. So in addition to workouts, I know you definitely advocate a lot for what you put in your body, what you are eating. Would you like to start there and talk a little bit about that?
Totally. So I often, when I have an initial conversation with a woman, they are like, okay, so I get it. I'm going to be really careful. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like we have this thing that we mustn't eat. Skinny is good. But it doesn't work. And it certainly doesn't, it may have worked when you were in your 20s. You kind of starved yourself for a few weeks, lost the weight, got in the pants, and then it doesn't work for us. And it actually doesn't line up with the type of lifestyle we want. Because if we want to be building muscle, which remember is going to actually make you look smaller, by the way, we're not talking Arnold Schwarzenegger here. It's going to make you, be more compact. You've got to feed that to make muscle. So I am all for people eating. I want you to be satiated. I don't want any woman I work with to be hungry. You want to be getting protein in. Okay. Do you want to get protein on your plate every meal? Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Have I got protein? You want to have vegetables. Now, when I'm saying protein, I'm obviously meaning things like it might be Greek yogurt, it might be chicken, it might be salmon, it might be tofu, it may be lentils and beans if you don't eat meat. But having that food is going to keep you satiated, which is great, right? Because who wants to be hungry all the time? And it's going to help you to build that muscle when you're doing the type of workouts that I'm suggesting. So it definitely is about being able to eat. And also being able to be a human, especially I would think if you're going to go on a date, you don't need to be that woman who's just pushing her lettuce around. Like, I don't think that's particularly attractive. you want to be able to have that meal, and you know what? Have that glass of wine if that's going to make you feel comfortable. I'm not talking about every night, okay? Don't get me wrong. But to be able to turn up and have fun, if it's your birthday, have the slice of cake. Nothing awful's going to happen, because most of the time you're eating sensibly with the protein and the vegetables, some healthy fats, healthy carbs. So that's yeah.
Wow. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was wondering about the B word, not that B word, bread. What do you think about bread? Like bread, people
Yeah.
eat bread. It reminds me of, if anybody knows me or has listened to me in the past, they know like I love memes and pop culture and funny stuff like that. And just the other day, I saw, Maya Rudolph doing a spoof of when Oprah was repping Weight Watchers, and she's eating bread, and she's like, "I love bread, I love bread." So anyway, can we eat bread?
So here's the thing with bread, okay? Yes, you can eat bread,
Okay.
but you don't want your meals to be sandwiches. Like, it's just kind of pointless. Like, if you can have some bread, I don't think any food group or food, should be completely out. But I'm going to suggest you have like a whole wheat bread or a rye bread, something healthy, and that you have it timed around some exercise. So, have it together with your protein after you've done a workout. It's going to get absorbed better. It's going to get broken down better, because bread is turning into glycogen, to sugar. And at our age, it's really hard for us to deal with this. And that's when it starts to sit more as fat than it used to. So, not no to bread, but think about how you're having it. You may do an early morning workout and want to have a lovely piece of whole wheat bread with a little bit of avocado, quarter of an avocado, and some egg and salad, and you're good to go, and that's fine. But I find a lot of women rely on sandwiches, and that I would rather you didn't do. But yeah, some bread, the right amount and at the right time.
Right. So let's face it, Fit and Fab over 40, a lot of us over 40 do have kids, and the breads in the house and the snacks and the kiddie food in the house. So give us some tips, please. How do we manage also trying to be fit and fab, looking our best self, feeding the kids? I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. I'm taking notes.
Oh, yeah. It's a tough one. I think I agree. Once you have kids, you kind of can't have that whole clear out the cupboards and have nothing in your house. Like, who are you kidding, right? Like, I have, my two youngest who are home are 16, and like, there's always got to be some kind of snacks in case they're studying or friends come in.
Right.
My actual number one tip is buy snacks that you don't like. like seriously, like we have Nutella, let's say chocolate spread, and then we have shafa here in Israel, and like shafa makes me feel sick, so I have that in the house, because if I'll be honest, if I have Nutella, it's going to come by the teaspoon. But yeah, I digress. Like, really try and have things you don't like. And the other thing is, stop and pause before you have something. Like,
Okay.
I know it sounds crazy, but like, just for a second. I actually have like a whole thing that I give out to my ladies of a yes no chart, and it's like, do I really want this? Yes. Okay. Why do I want this? Like, am I hungry? Yes. Okay, so I might have it. Or no. Like, take that pause. Again, this breathing thing is like huge for me. I use it all the time because you can do it anywhere. Do I really want it? Like, is it really setting me up for the goals I want? And I believe that sometimes you're going to be like, you know what? I'm going to have the snack. But most of the time, if you really take that pause and you grab your water, by the way, live with water, you might discover that you don't really want it. And actually, it was just in that moment, you were emotional, you were annoyed, your kid was not doing their homework, like whatever it is, you just got off the phone from some, tech support that didn't help you. Like that may happen, but don't have the things in that you absolutely love. Take a pause before you grab it. Drink water, because most of the time we're hungry and not thirsty, okay? And make an informed decision. If you decide, you know what, that line of chocolate is really going to do it for me now, and I'm okay with it, then have it.
Okay.
But then close the door on it. Don't make it be, okay, I had that, now I'm just going to go crazy because I ruined everything. Like, why are we so all or nothing? Why are we all or nothing? Have it. Be kind to yourself, right? Remember that whole mindset, that narrative, and be like, you know what? I wanted it. It's okay. I don't need any more. Rather than, I have so many women who are like, well, I had that, so I might as well have that, and then I'll have a cookie and that. No, close the door. You had it. You're okay. You're still a hot mama, and keep going.
What I'd love to hear from you is about along those lines still, but like let's say you do kind of start with the chocolate and you keep kind of, going downhill and keep adding more stuff. How do you recover? I'm actually going to give you the screen for a moment. How do you recover from a situation like that?
Again, how do you recover? You're kind to yourself. You think to yourself, why? You think to yourself, okay, I had that. This does not make me a bad person. You don't allow your mind to spiral to that place of how awful you are and how you're a failure and you can't do anything, because we're all human. And once you're a woman over 40, you have a lot going on in your life. You have a lot going on. So if you ate too much, forgive yourself. Try and sit, even journal with what happened, what was going on, what were your emotions, what were you feeling? And then honestly close the door and tell yourself you're still amazing. And tomorrow or the next hour are going to be better. Because beating yourself up and going down that rabbit hole, it's not
Wow.
going to help you.
I really appreciate that information. I think every woman listening is going to appreciate hearing that. It's the same with like, oh, so what? So you had a bad date. Are you going to just like be single the rest of your life? No, you had a bad date. Okay, sorry that happened. Let's talk about it. Let's think about it. Let's move forward. So I can really feel the same. It is about mindset, like you said, and I really enjoy that you, use that element. And it's not just what do you eat and what do you, how do you exercise? But getting back to you and your expertise and what you offer to people, can you let everybody know what are some of the ways like that people can? So let's say I'm like, okay, I love Jane. How do I get involved? One second.
Uh,
Go on. This part's
oh,
gonna be edited out. This is gonna be edited out because I got a noisy dog.
and I've only got one earphone working.
All right, go on. How do you?
Yeah.
How do people reach you?
So you can find me on Facebook, Jane Sendak Marcus. I also have a Facebook group, One Fit Life for women in menopause over 40. I have Instagram. I do not have a proper website, but that's okay. You can really find me through socials, and there are different ways to work with me. I have an amazing 12-week program, which really gets you started with continuing membership. And again, everything I do involves the mindset, the workouts, the nutrition, accountability, and also an amazing group of women, like-minded women who are in the same place. Because you don't want to be hanging out with some 20-year-olds that just had to, stop eating for a day. And sorry if it's too much information, but like we do a lot of jumping. So we all have the same issues going on with our jumping. So it's just a nice, safe place to all be, getting fabulous together.
Absolutely. So you can find Jane by searching her name, Jane Sendak Marcus. You can find her at Jane One Fit Life. And then you can also find some very cool videos and enter your contact information at janefitlifecoach.com. Those are some ways to find Jane. And what I'd love to do is go over some of your key takeaways. I loved what you said today, and here's some takeaways. They're going to repeat. So for people listening, pay attention. For people looking, you can look at the bottom of the screen right now. So here's what she has to say. Strength training is key. Also, you need to eat. You don't need to starve yourself. You need to eat. And a positive mindset is huge on this journey. And I think that everything that your top 3 takeaways is exactly the key parts that you spoke about today. So I think they really blend well with the message that you want to deliver to people. Jane, what would you like to tell everybody, and how would you like to? What's your final thoughts on looking and feeling your best, fit and fabulous over 40?
What I want to say to everybody is that it's not too late. You can be amazing. You are amazing wherever you are. So wherever you're starting, if you don't feel gorgeous in yourself, take a moment to just appreciate what your body does for you, who you are, and all the achievements you have. And you're not going to have the body you have had at 20, but that's okay. You've been through so much. You are fantastic. You are fabulous, honestly. I know that you can get fitter and stronger. I know, and I hope that you hear that it is important to build muscle. I don't want you to be that granny who can't get out of a chair. I want your muscles to work for you. Everything I'm talking about is for functionality. Yes, you want to look amazing. You want to feel amazing, but you want to be healthy. And really, again, it's not about being a size 0. It's about taking back your life, having energy, having, that joie de vivre, like just feeling your very best self. And you can do it. And it's one step at a time. And remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. You can't get to where you want to be immediately. I'm sure just like with your dating and your matchmaking, it takes a while. You have to take steps, but you have to congratulate yourself on the way. And you have to be open and willing to put yourself in maybe not the most comfortable situations, but you can do it all. You can all do it, whoever you are, wherever you're starting, just one step at a time. Trust the process and, accept that you're amazing.
Wow. Jane, thank you so much. I appreciated every tip you gave and all of your wisdom and your warm energy. And I'm telling you, ladies, start now. If you want to look like Jane, if you have any luck to look like Jane, start now. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me here. I hope that I help a few women and I will feel amazing. Thank you.
Reach out to Jane today. Thanks for joining Romance Report with Shana Tibi and my special guest today, Jane Sendak Marcus, Fit Life Coach.